Welcome again, everyone, to the next episode of The Foally of Man. I'm Chris, with me here today.
I'm Robert, and this is the de facto Christmas episode, so Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah!
If you're watching this too early, you opened your Christmas present too early, young man.
Ladies, make sure to trim that holiday bush.
Oh, God. Too much.
So, this is the Foally of Man Live.
And pardon me if I keep looking down. I'm trying to manage stuff from my phone.
He's just being mildly autistic and, keeping to himself. So anyways,
was that a joke? I don't understand jokes.
Yeah. And have a hard time making eye contact with people. So, yeah. Anyway, did you like or did somebody else like?
That would be somebody else.
I hope to God it was somebody else and not you. Anyways, so this is technically episode 31, but in episode 31 we are covering chapter 34.
Yes, chapter 34, in which Pip do the thing.
Pip did a do the thing.
She did do the thing.
I've come up with a title for this episode.
Go right ahead.
Are you ready?
Yes.
It's PONIES!
Oh boy. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Where did we start with this episode?
That's a really good question. It's a long chapter.
We go over a lot of things. We start off with them
recovering from elder cottage cheese and the system being shut down.
Yep.
And the chaos that throws everything into. So essentially, the stables have these amazing security systems that are designed that even when all of the power has been shut down, there's still security systems to take control and to protect. And so essentially, all the auto turrets come online. There are these safe rooms that start notifying people to move to them. And the auto turrets are just lighting up anyone that they can find. It doesn't, friend or foe doesn't matter. Technically, it considers everyone in the stable as a foe because none of them are the original vault dwellers there. They're all the what do you call it? Not the outcasts, the Applejacks Rangers.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they're getting shot at.
Anybody makes a crack about me being millennials, I'm all on my phone.
But anyway,
get out of your system now.
Yeah, so the auto turrets are lighting up everybody. Little Pip is trying to get to a safe area, and then, of course, the nerve agent gets released. Well, a gas gets released.
Yeah, a neurotoxin.
Neurotoxin. And, essentially, it just knocks
Little Pip's like, oh gosh, I'm tired. I wonder what the gas is going to smell like.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
Is anybody else really sleepy?
Yeah, anyway, yeah.
I wonder if it's going to look like something. I wonder if it's going to look like.
And then we come to later. So Little Pip also gets injured, gets shot in her rear flank.
Yes.
By an auto turret. And we find out later that some people were able to make it into the safe rooms, but otherwise, the stable locked down completely. But anyways, a bunch of people were injured. Nobody was killed, fortunately, but one unfortunate buck was sleeping in the bed chambers when the auto turret came on live, and basically it's implied he'll never walk again, or never really be able to fight again.
He's pretty much
gravely
injured.
Yeah, and there's a really awkward conversation between him and Little Pip where he's like, you did the right thing, or you were doing what you're supposed to. But she said, "Is there anything that I can do for you?" And he says, "No, I think you've done enough."
No, I think you've done enough.
Yeah, I think you've done enough here.
Of course, Pip's not in the mood to find that funny. She's all like, "Oh my God, you're dead. You're now crippled permanently, and it's my fault."
Taking everything to heart.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so we then proceed to move on to the exchange of Elder Cottage cheese for an outcast or somebody who wants to become an outcast, who's coming from the Brotherhood of, not the Brotherhood of Steel. What are they called? Steel Rangers.
Steel Rangers. Yeah. The Brotherhood of Steel, as you say.
I know, the Brotherhood of Steel.
Hello. Me.
Yeah, do you yeah.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, him.
not him. He's reading it for the first time. I've read it many times, so.
Yeah. But anyways, so we go to the exchange. Little Pip and Calamity and Velvet Remedy, everybody's going to participate in the exchange. Elder Cottage Cheese is incapacitated. He's comatose because he was in the process of transferring his mind into the what do you call the computer system?
Oh, the mainframe. The Crusader.
Crusader mainframe. I was looking for
Main
Crusader.
as an M-A-N-E.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Of course. Which is something that, unfortunately, a lot of these kind of typed puns...
At this point, when I'm listening to the audio, I just assume it's a pun. Like, unfortunately, you've ruined me forever. I already loved puns, but now the pony puns come around all the time. They just come naturally.
And whenever you hear an opportunity, you instantly hop on it. I'll give you guys the heads up for all that are joining. We'll be actually engaging with you guys after the episode, but we're still kind of
doing we're going to do the summary, and then obviously when we get into the more fun part of the show, then we'll be engaging with the chat a little bit.
We're talking about a whole bunch of snacks.
Yeah, well, it's the level of professionalism that you've come to expect from the Foally of Man and Crisco Industries in general.
So anyway...
so we go to the exchange, and, it's going to be a clusterfuck.
Oh, yeah.
How could it not be? An opportunity to attack a 200-year-old elder, as he says.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, so here they have cottage cheese, and he's comatose, and he's in his medical life support system.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, basically things go sour like they're supposed to, and what happens is there is a scribe, a Brotherhood of Steel scribe, who's like, this is wrong. Listen, they've got the savior of the wasteland, little Pip over there. We can't slaughter them. This is bad optics.
And as well,
they would never believe that they attacked first.
Yeah, as well, she's got the radio on her side, so when you have full dictatorial control over the means of communication and dissemination of information in the wasteland, you pretty much own the wasteland.
And they mentioned that. It's like, she's having a thing. DJ Pony has a hard-on for little Pip. A boner, that's right, for little Pip. And so and they're like, we can't do this. And secretly, Steel Hooves is already locking on to everyone inside.
He knew what would happen.
Of course he did.
It seems like Steel Hooves already knew what was going to happen, so he just walked in like, okay, this is going to be our end to kill everyone here.
Yeah, and then when the shit hits the fan... blam. Yeah, Steel Hooves just lights those fuckers up. One of them does land a hit on him, and he goes down, and then all of their targeting spells, since they were locked on where he was standing, go awry and miss, and almost hit Elder Cottage Cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, with no care, the scribe gets caught in the fray, because scribes don't have any armor.
Oh, yeah.
They're just completely weak. And of course, those members there of the Brotherhood of Steel, or the Steel Rangers rather, they get just shot all to pieces. They do get hit. I'm trying to remember. There's a lot of injuries in this chapter, so I'm trying to remember what injuries occur. I was going to say Pyrelight gets hit, but that's in a different encounter.
That's a different encounter.
Actually, does that encounter happen on the way? Oh, did I totally skip over some stuff?
Yeah,
there's so much that happens.
They're intercommunicable here, so it's not really that important. So
on the way to the exchange,
they get diverted because they're like, okay, we can't go in flying because they're going to shoot us down the second they see us. So we have to get on the ground. As they're going and veering off, they see a community nearby, and Calamity spies with his little eye a ambush that's being set up for one of the caravans that's coming out of the community, and so they engage bandits. Because they noted that they don't look like raiders. They don't have like skulls hanging all over and blood dripping off of them. So they probably just bandits. No, you haven't. Keep tuned. So as they go along, they save the caravan mostly. I think they lose like 1 or 2 guards. All the bandits get killed except one of the bandits
has a child.
A son. And that son gets taken in by Arbu after the fact. They're saying, don't worry, we'll treat him as one of our own. We'll take care of him.
Yeah.
And so...
But we should also say, the town there is called Arbu, and it's called Arbu because there were these 2 competing coffee shops right across. And one of them is Starbucked. But the only thing left on the sign is the Arbu.
Novak from New Vegas.
Yeah. And so that's the name of the community, anyways. And the cult that gets adopted. Oh yeah,
with suggestive lesbian mayors. We'll talk on that later. Espresso and Latte, I think, were the name of the mayors. It was only mentioned once. Mm-hmm. And they were like about to make. They were like almost making out on the cover.
Buy our coffee, and we'll let you watch us make out. Great slogan. Pip used a term. It was like. It wasn't just lesbian, but it was like incestuous. It was something. Yeah, I'll have to come back to that. Lesbincestuous.
Lesbincestuous.
That's what it was.
Lesbincestuous. Good words there, K-Cat.
But anyways, so that's the village, and the cult has a name like Summer Showers or Sandy something. Yeah,
Sandy Shores, I think.
Sandy Shores, that's
Sandy
right.
Shoals? Sandy Shoals, maybe.
Something like that.
Anyway, so then you go to the actual meetup where they.
Wait. Pyrelight is injured by one of the bandits.
Yeah, but they heal her after they meet with the encounter.
We're skipping an important step with the Radigators.
Yeah, we go to the Radigators, and then we come back to Buckling Cross afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so Pyrelight is damaged, and they're trying to find. Oh, right, and we skipped the step. Velvet Remedy has a choice of whether to save the bandit father or to save Pyrelight. Mm-hmm. Because she only has enough time to take care of one. She decides to save Pyrelight because the other guy's a bandit.
Yeah, and as well, I mean, come on, who are you going to say?
But because Pyrelight is damaged, because Pyrelight was doing damage to those guys, that's why they shot at her, but because Pyrelight is wounded, they need to go somewhere that's heavily irradiated.
To heal her.
And so they go to a heavily irradiated area, the Radigator Hatchery. Mm-hmm. Radigator Hatchery, which obviously is heavily radiated, because when the bomb went off, there was a train that was loaded up with radioactive material that spilled into the Radigator Hatchery.
Yes. See, now we already knew this, but okay.
Anyways, so but they say, well, it's really irradiated in there. Let's land on the roof, and Pyrelight can rest and relax and recover. Hey, K-Cat. So anyways, and Calamity's even like, I don't know, this roof looks pretty bad, and because what can go wrong will go wrong. Mm-hmm. They even see that there is one giant Radigator. A legendary Radigator.
Well, let it be known. K-Cat came up with legendary enemies in the Fallout universe before Bethesda did.
Really?
But legendary Radigator.
I'll be darned.
She even declares it a legendary Radigator. Heck, even in the book, there's a little star. No, there's not. I have a C in science, so that you have the second letter. Very good.
All right. So, anyways, so they land on the roof, and she's trying to. Velvet Remedy's trying to find a place to lay Pyrelight down, and she steps on a hair trigger that sets off of It's like a surprise. It's like balloons and confetti.
A party explosion.
A party explosion. Is this something from the show?
Yes, Pinkie Pie. Because, this is part of the thing. See, Robert here, for those who don't know, Robert here doesn't watch the show, is not involved in My Little Pony at all. And so,
I'm not a Brony.
So we're getting his reaction from this. The technical name for the place is the Gator Retirement and Hospitality something. Anyway, it was dedicated to Gummy, which is Pinkie Pie's pet animal, which is a toothless alligator.
So wait, the legendary Radigator is Pinkie Pie's toothless alligator?
That just got covered by radiation and became big.
So I just assumed that this giant thing had lost its teeth because it was really old.
No.
But it's another reference to the show. I should have known better. At this point, I should know better.
Which is why the Pinkie Pie surprise bomb was on the roof.
I gotcha.
Which she said should have been balloons, but they were oily. Gummy was a baby alligator in the show, yes.
So, like Spike, has lived for 200 years and is now huge.
However, apparently never gained teeth. Even though,
That would suck if you were an alligator and you naturally didn't have any teeth. Anyways, so Velvet Remedy, surprised by the party surprise, jumps back on all four hooves, hits the roof really hard, and it caves.
Yeah, taking down everything.
And Little Pip tries to envelop Pyrelight and Velvet Remedy in a levitation orb. Mm-hmm. but that's when Gummy
Yes, Gummy says hello.
comes up.
Gummy actually comes up as so large that he manages to take hold of the Sky Bandit and start wrestling it around, which in turn throttles Calamity all over the place.
No, he gets hit into a beam.
I know, but he's being thrown around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a reference. I would call it an homage. Actually, the narrator, what's his name again?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I really feel bad now because I should know his name. You would actually call it an homage.
Yeah, there are a couple mispronunciations. That's too good.
Enjoyment in the comments.
Yeah. But anyways, so Little Pip pulls out the trank gun, or the, what do you call it, the syringe gun, syringer?
Yeah, it's called the poison dart gun.
Poison
it's
dart
the dart gun in Fallout 3.
Right, and pumps the gator full of stuff because it's like, I really don't want to kill this giant.
And they told us not to.
Yeah, and they told us not to.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what they use for food.
Right.
Totally.
Sure. Why not?
Totally.
Hey man, radigators, good eating.
Boy, it tastes like
chicken. Good eating. But anyways, hey, we got 19 people watching. Hello.
What are you all doing here? You should be doing better things.
Wait, let's do that really shitty YouTube thing. Remember to leave a quick little thumbs up there and a like and subscribe.
Dislike us, unsubscribe, and leave a comment about how you want us dead. There you go. The YouTube way.
Oh man, we brought attention to it and they all left.
It's inevitable.
You know, that's just how it rolls. So anyways, needless to say, Velvet Remedy's falling. She falls into a vat of radigators that are, of course, razor-sharp teeth trying to kill her.
It really helps me out. Yes. Yes, it does.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's some more. All right, but anyways, needless to say, they get away from that situation.
Yeah.
But it's bad.
Oh, yeah. It could have ended terribly.
It's just real tense.
So they leave. What they do is they leave Velvet Remedy and Pyrolite on a tanker, and they go off to back to Arbu, and start talking to some people. Was the Sun and Moon discussion mentioned? Not yet. Not yet. That actually happens up close, up soon. So what happens is
actually at this point it already has happened in the chapter.
Oh, that's right. Because they talked to
they
him
were flying in the Sky Bandit,
and they're talking about how the Sun and the Moon are doing just fine. We don't need the princesses after all. It's like, no, because the Sun and the Moon are sometimes up at the same time. And then sometimes the moon eclipses the sun, except they don't call it eclipse, and they call it as some kind of, like, collision.
Yeah, they thought it was the world ending.
Also known as the Truman Show effect, because if you remember in the Truman Show, they had this weird thing where the moon would show at the same time as the sun, where it really couldn't. It'd be, like, at the same point in the sky, which kind of alerts you very early in the movie. Something is wrong. This is not the right place. So, but moving back into the chapter, they go and they go back to Arbu, and they're talking to them, and like, look, we give you some actually good, clean water, but we don't have one. Our water talisman keeps breaking, and we can't keep it fixed. So we get it from the Steel Rangers. Yeah. And Steel Hub's like, oh yeah, because I got like 12 of them.
Yeah.
And
a bunch of them. I think 3. I think they said 3, but they have a bunch.
Yeah, but they have a bunch. My nose hurts. I'm very sorry. So Pip's like, they have the water. They should, I mean, seriously, if you have water and you have the ability to produce it for free, infinitely, why not give it away? And starts talking about how water is an inherent human right, which means the K-Cat also managed to predict the Detroit water situation.
Well, Little Pip, being from the stable is like, we didn't really have an economy. You were assigned things. You were given an allowance by the overmayor. And then, but she's like, but it's still wrong. Everyone should share.
You gotta share.
And even their even their calamities, like, well, what about the people selling their meat? And Steel Hooves says, yeah, and Applejack sold apples. It's like, I have a lot of this. I will give it to you. You have a lot of that. We will it's like basic economics.
Yeah. I mean, when you come from a society where everything's given to you and everything's granted to you, you don't have a fundamental understanding, at least an inherent fundamental understanding.
But it is an interesting point.
Systems.
It is an interesting point. Stables are a microcosm of communism.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what it is. You do have a dictator, but what communist government doesn't have one dictator above all? That tends to be a standard thing here.
Yeah.
But anyways, so right, I feel like we skipped over some things, but what you were getting to the point of is, we're trying to create a situation to essentially barter for some water talismans for Arbu.
Yep. And so they realize they still have Elder Cottage cheese in a little, like, survival casks strapped to the top of the Sky Bandit. Like, well, okay, let's go take him and see if we can barter for some water talismans. And they're gonna get 2, one for stable 29, which is a busted one, and as soon as they put it back in, the stable should start working as soon as they override the mainframe's control of the stable, and another one for Arbu. And so they go up. They actually manage to take out the automated turrets by Pip simultaneously. Well, no, it wasn't Pip simultaneously. It was Velvet Remedy shielding the craft and Calamity, and Little Pip disassembling the battery supply telekinetically off the back of the robot.
Yeah.
And the automated turrets, which is genius, but also I can't imagine the amount that you'd have to know to do that. So,
and all the while, Steelhooves is directly communicating. Like he went in under the auspices of diplomacy.
Oh yeah,
but not really diplomacy. Like, you're gonna give us these things.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna attack a 200-year-old elder?
Yeah.
No, an elder with 200 years of battle experience. That's what he says very specifically.
Oh yeah, so it's extreme there. So they land on the actual top portion of the bridge, because I think it's a double-decker bridge, like the Brooklyn Bridge. Isn't the Brooklyn Bridge double-decker? I want to say it
Or
is.
the George Washington. Well, I don't remember. We don't live in New York.
I've never gone to New York.
Yeah.
Smells.
Pigeons. Carnies. Small hands. Smell like cabbage.
They land on top of it, and they start trying to barter for the supplies, but Little Pip recognizes this is all going downhill. They're not listening to Velvet Remedy. Steelhooves is the one who's actually negotiating. Steelhooves is terrible at negotiating.
His negotiating
is awful.
Give it to me or I'll kill you.
And then give it to me, and then I'll kill you. He's not great with negotiation. No. He doesn't really come off as somebody who'd be willing to trade. It's more of a, this is the line in the sand, here's where I am, this is what I want, you're going to give it to me. Yeah, that's it. That's the only option. So one of the snipers up on the roof accidentally takes a shot and ends up pinging off of the back of Steelhooves, because nothing's penetrating that armor that's smaller than AM rifle. And it hits Velvet Remedy's flank.
Yeah.
And that was a massive mistake, because the entire thing just turns into a massive brawl again. And so
Ballroom blitz.
and it just goes back and forth and back and forth. And when the smoke settles, Pip did manage to scurry away from the battle and actually grab the 2 water talismans, or 2 of the water talismans.
Steal 2 water talismans. And we
procure the 2 water
We get
talismans.
a description of the water talismans, I think, for really the first
time. They're sapphires in a golden lattice
work, that give off a dull, cold energy.
Yeah. Interesting.
It is really interesting. And essentially, the way the talisman works is do you submerge it in water?
No idea.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember if K-Cat describes that.
Just add water.
Instant water, just add water.
It's just like sea monkeys, except necessary water to consume. Oh, the other thing
also not a scam.
The other thing we should mention is that when they're in Arbu, they're offered this stew made from radigator meat, and Little Pip comments on how darn good eating that radigator meat.
And she doesn't want it. She also doesn't want to insult the people, because
she looks over at the little colt who is eating a bowl of
the Sandy Shoals character.
Yes, yeah. Who's just kind of not really paying
crying.
much attention to.
He's cried out, and so he's at the point where he's just lost all emotional will.
All right, I think we should really get at the meat of the chapter.
Well, not yet, because we still have a few interesting points.
Oh, okay.
K-Cat actually does a few Easter eggs in this.
Oh, yeah?
The one that stands out, I don't know if you notice, is the when she talks to the Brahmin.
Oh, yeah, that's
the
a great...
dreaded Brahmin. there's an Easter egg relating to Fallout 2 in which she talks to
Bess and Bob.
Bess and Bob, or Herbert.
Herbert.
Which is a reference to Harold in Fallout 2, where you talk to him and he talks about the tree in his head. You ask him about the tree, he's like, oh, his name's Herbert. I talk to him sometimes, he talks back.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding you. His name's Bob.
Yeah, no, I got the reference. But anyways, we find out that that it is possible for some Brahmin to communicate.
Yes.
Like
because they were when they were cows before the war, they were intelligent enough to talk, but it seems like there's some kind of disconnect when it comes to their ability to survive on their own and exist in the world space.
Right. And she said, some are just not very intelligent at all. But it is funny. Pip was trying to figure out how one head could be female and the other could be male. Because the body looked very clearly female. Mm-hmm. And in fact, she said, I don't think I've seen one without udders. And quite frankly, the idea of it potentially being a hermaphroditic race of creatures seemed to be upsetting to Pip. Like, I just need to stop.
Well, I mean, having not even hermaphroditic, but dual sexual creature, because both sexual identities exist in the exact same body, almost independently from each other. It's kind of weird, but it's actually prior to the game because you never see a bull in the game. You only see female cows. Mm-hmm. Interesting thing. You came back at exactly the right time. Bess, the Brahmin, was also from Fallout 2 as well as Herbert. I do not remember that one. I'm sure if I had played through a lot more of the side quests. Now, there's also a reference to Grognak the Barbarian, which I thought was actually rather interesting. Swordmare.
Oh, yeah.
Which was this almost over-sexualized, voluptuous, muscular, heroic female horse, and behind her was cowering a small, wide-eyed stallion. A buck, as K-Cat put it, which is which is supposed to be a take from Grognak, the over-sexualized, uber-masculine man, and the cowering damsel in distress behind him.
One of my favorite costumes from Fallout 4, actually. Just as something ridiculous to carry around one of those big rebar concrete sledgehammers.
Oh, yeah. It's great. It's great. So now we are getting to the meat of the problem, where an old man keeps telling him to get out.
Get out!
Get out where you can!
Get out! I got a shotgun!
That's a stick, old man.
I got a shotgun!
So,
little Pip is resting, and he finds her. And little Pip is surprised. He has marks on his legs that look like he'd been shackled, like there were manacles that were holding him down. And I can't remember exactly what he says, but it's essentially, you're not the only one around here who knows how to lockpick or something.
Yeah. Well, no, it says get in the basement. You'll see what's there, what it's like there. Mm-hmm. You'll understand. It'll answer all your questions. Just you have to get to the basement. And she's like, but they can keep the basement locked. And he's like, you're not the only one who knows how to pick a lock.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So he's not as crazy as he appeared before. He seemed very lucid. Yeah. Sundowner syndrome. Mm-hmm. Anyways,
wartime disorder.
Oh, that's right. That comes up. Well, and we haven't even talked about Mr. Boston Mall security guard.
Yeah, so let's go. Let's finish with Arbu first, and then we'll talk about Boston.
Boston. But anyways, so little Pip makes her way into the basement, and it's a shit show. It's literally an abattoir. It is an abattoir.
You're quite right about sundowning.
Yeah.
The abattoir.
Yeah. The abattoir.
But yes, it's absolutely a terrifying sight to behold. Because there's skulls on the wall with Unity soldered underneath it. So, not just written, not like somebody just took out a marker and wrote on the wall. They took time to solder this, which means this was a practice, an art. Grandpa Rattle was actually designed with the idea of crossing sundowning with the night person
perk. Oh, cool. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm a little familiar with the sundowning. I've had some people in my family who dealt with that. So, but anyways, so they're eating ponies. They're eating ponies.
Yep. Which is where your title for the episode.
It's ponies.
Which is actually a depressing movie when you watch it. I mean, it's actually
Soylent Green. Well, the thing is, they spoil the whole thing in the trailer.
And not only that, it doesn't really hold up right.
It's not good. It's just not good.
Now, that being said, yes, it was an amazing chapter.
We should make a note, because there's still a few things we missed out on. they commented earlier. They hint at they got the brands on their flanks from after they consumed the heart of their first kill.
Yep.
And we all just assumed it was Ratigators that they were
Yes.
killing. But, you know, again, so little Pip realizes that... Oh, I should also say, the father, Stallion, the bandit Stallion, has his chest cavity cracked open and his heart's missing. And little Pip realizes, but I killed him. And then, of course, she's, like, trying to throw up and, like, what have I done?
But it wasn't fed to me.
Yeah.
It was fed to...
The Colts.
Sandy Shoals.
Yeah, it was fed to the Colts, which is fucked.
Yeah.
It's real fucked.
That's the reason that the foal's like, eating the soup like this. Like... yeah, it'd fuck with anybody. No wonder they're the happiest people in the world. They can't accept what they've done. It's much like Andale. It's obviously kind of a not a copy paste of Andale, but an application of Andale in the Foally Equestria world space.
So, anyways,
and the last we leave Pip,
Little Pip goes on a murder spree.
She is about to raise hell, and by raise hell I mean R-A-Z.
And the only way we find out is that it cuts to DJ Pony
talking about how something terrible has happened, and it's very well possible that
Little Pip was the one who eliminated everyone in this town.
Yeah,
but it
just butchered an entire
think
populace.
about it. It fits like the original Fallout narrative, you know, where the character's capable of tremendous good and tremendous bad, and you get stories of both. That's why whenever they question, you know, what did the Lone Wanderer actually do or accomplish, it's always gray.
Muddied, yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody makes different decisions.
And everyone has different interpretations of what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember if it was a man or a woman, you know. I hear the story multiple times.
No, it's a ghoul.
But let's talk about the
Mocop.
The mole cop.
Paul Blarton's name.
He was in Manhattan, but he had transferred to... What was the little town called before it was Arbu? Did they actually have a name?
I don't remember. It was a mall, but I can't remember the name of it.
But anyways, we're getting these logs of these two competing coffee shops right across the street from each other.
Yeah.
Right across the street from each other. And essentially he's dealing with all these squabbles between the two owners.
As well as the squabbles of a little old Mrs. What was her name?
I don't remember, but she had a little dog.
Winsong or something, I don't know. A little yappy poodle.
Little yappy poodle. Anyways. So, and all the back and forth about changing their advertising. One saying I'm more patriotic, saying, well, at least I know where my beans come from. You know,
it's a version. It's like this hyper advertising based on either sex or patriotism, and the inflation of both as they keep trying to outdo each other. And as well,
talking about how winter is make or break in the coffee business, you know.
Winter's make or break in the coffee industry, boy.
Well, maybe you should try and filter your coffee so it doesn't taste like butt or whatever he says like that.
Well, filter it through something that a mule would wipe its ass with.
Right. And he's like, well, that's what coffee's supposed to taste like. And it is interesting too in the pony world. You know, again, they're used to kind of consuming yummy things, so it's weird that there would be competing coffee shops because it doesn't seem like something ponies would really enjoy naturally.
Ponies are like the 15-year-olds who go to Starbucks. They only order the frappuccinos and then laugh about how they're drinking
more
coffee.
sugar, more whipped cream.
Yeah.
More Brahmin cream.
I can't help but think that's like radioactive and pre-curdled. Like it comes out curdled.
Oh,
I can only
it comes out looking like Cheese Whiz from the can. But dark brown.
Oh, and the smell. This is just becoming wholly unappetizing.
I hate to tell you, that ain't cheese.
Yeah. I'm sad. Okay, but there's also a sub-story.
Yeah, with his sister and his niece.
Yes.
And his niece has
wartime stress disorder.
WSD.
Which they think it's so sad, so bad that she has wartime stress disorder. We'll take her to the Ministry of Peace that'll heal her right up. And so they send her there.
A lot of comments on the Ministry of Peace there.
And they're like, and she's getting better. She's doing great. She's happy. She's nice. She just can't
But
I
asked
remember
her,
things.
I was going to say, I asked her about her birthday, and she gets a blank look on her face.
And she's like, I don't
and
remember.
What do we already know about the Ministry of Peace?
I feel like there's a hoof shattering that happened, possibly. So, but it goes into this interesting aspect of the world space.
Yeah.
And what happened during the war is, as soon as somebody would begin questioning, maybe the war isn't such a great idea, maybe we should just try to de-escalate things. The second that somebody started talking about de-escalation, or started feeling sympathy for the other side,
With the zebras, yeah.
they were instantly branded as having wartime stress disorder,
Yep.
which is much easier on a populace than saying they're all dissenters, because eventually somebody's going to go, okay, you can't have half the populace dissenters and still claim that you're doing the right thing, because very clearly the populace doesn't want this.
What they're literally doing is reprogramming them.
Yeah, and they're blaming on some kind of psychological disorder, and then reassigning them pretty much a new identity based on their old life and what parts need to be kept there.
Would you say they're thought police?
Wee woo, wee
Yeah,
woo.
they're literally ripping thoughts out of your head.
Possibly. I mean, but it's very dystopian, very eerie.
Yeah. And that was chapter 34.
Yeah. It was amazing. This is actually one of my favorite chapters, simply because there's so much to go over, and there's so much that kind of delves into the world beforehand, currently, and Arbu is definitely an iconic part of the story.
All right.
So there's that. Cough, cough. Cough, cough. I know, so much to say.
Now, we do have a little bit of an announcement. We did hire a new Pony Pun of the Week last week, and we've already had to can her.
Yeah, caught her out back giving cigarettes to children.
Yeah, not good. So, if you know anybody, we're looking to hire another Pony Pun of the Week right now. Send all your candidates to at Chris Godfrey.
The only prerequisites is that they're intangible, ethereal, mostly thought, and funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to go back over the comments here and address some people.
I will say, if you have suggestions yourself for the Pony Pun of the Week, please feel free to send them to cbpbch@gmail.com.
Or just, comment them now.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to.
But their comments now aren't going to show up on the video.
But we'll say them out loud.
Okay.
Now, we do have 2 questions from last week. I suggest Mrs. Nintendo. 2 questions from last week, where one person asked, what elements do you recognize as being from Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas that are used in the story? I mean, we're so far into this point, I'd be the pony of man. But, I mean, the full... Okay. I feel like we've gone over it a bit, but I can tell you the ones definitely from this chapter. Going back and naming all of them, I couldn't do that. I don't have the retention to remember all of the
there's tons of references. I mean, the whole world is references. I mean,
yeah,
Nuka-Cola and...
Yeah, I mean, there's just tons of it. And what references to Fallout 4? Interesting little thing. I commented this on the subreddit way back when Fallout 4 came out. Part of Fallout 4 almost reads off like Project Horizons. If we read Project Horizons, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I have a buried deep down in there is a comment I made about my thoughts on how Project Horizons, how Fallout 4 pretty much stole from Project Horizons. It was kind of interesting. I also called it the Blimperhood of Steel because I didn't know what it was called at the time, and I was like, I'm going to call it that. It's a pretty name for it.
So are those? Oh, here we go. Here's another question.
How do you plan to do the Foally of Man with the really long chapters later on? K-Cat's talked to us about that.
Breaking them up a little bit.
Yeah, now, Crazed Ramblings, that was his name, Crazed Ramblings, he broke up the chapters, kind of had a dialogue with her about how the chapters should be broken up, and so we're going to kind of follow that metric. Coming up on chapter 36, we are going to break that up at K-Cat's request. Oh yeah. I keep thinking, isn't that a single chapter, the entire Candlelight thing? Because goodness, oh boy, that's long. Might be chapter 36. Yeah, just dealing with that. And so
We'll let y'all know.
Yeah, we'll just kind of play it by ear, depending. I mean, if you read one and you're like, wow, that was really short, I want to keep continuing, then yeah, we'll probably go over both halves, or 2/3, or however they're broken up. Now the other question from last week of chapter 37, and broken into 6 parts in the audiobook. Yeah, I remember it was long. I remember it was really, really, really long. It's called A Writing of Passion. Last week, the second question was in respect to our previous answers from that episode, in which was asked of us, what species would we be, where would we live, it was those two, what species would we be and where would we live, and what weapons would be, what our loadout would be. And then this last question was, how long do you think you'd survive? And I'm thinking, a unicorn with stealth tactics in Manhattan, I would last for a good solid set of minutes. Maybe an hour. I feel lucky. I might be able to take it that long.
I picked a griffin, so I kind of like my odds of survival.
Well, you can't go too high, which means you get attacked by the Enclave and killed, and you can't go too low because then you'll be attacked by raiders and killed. So we
travel in packs,
and people keep calling you turkey.
That is true.
And chicken.
And then I eat them.
A whole bunch of racial epithets
then
then
I eat them because I have big meaty beak.
Okay, so let's go into the more recent ones if I can get this thing. Come on. Okay, it's just gonna die.
It'll work with you.
No, it won't. Oh, YouTube, you're so good at failing. It's a shame that wasn't your business model. In fact, by the way that you've been doing things, it actually looks like your business model. So let's go back to here and let's pull up the live chat and see what happens. Okay.
See if we missed anything along the way.
The Mall Cup story was notably the first time in the story where you see a good look at wartime Equestria without the appearance of anyone in the show. Says K-Cat. Let's see, how do we plan on doing the long chapters?
Hold on a second. A dragon's cool, but talk about a lonely life.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're dealing with the fact that a lot of people would hate you and probably attack you on sight.
Where do I think it goes from here? Sorry. The question to me is, where do I think the story goes from here? Well, Camelot's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. But essentially, we've been headed towards 3 parties meeting at one place at the end. There's, a climax at the end of the story. And
Wait. You're saying at the end of stories?
No,
There's a high point that just goes straight up?
Right.
There's a tension and relief in storytelling?
No, I know.
You madman!
No, I know. I was just going to say, so there's all parties will come together at the same time. There will be a great fight, and there will also be great sacrifice. My opinion is that there will be tremendous sacrifice by Little Pit.
Okay. I'm going to say, if you made your own community as a dragon, that wouldn't last very long. Dragons are not known to be very communal or agreeable with each other. So that would not last long.
By the way, we were at the store today, and we found this racist as fuck advertising. Look at that. Doesn't look anything like Zenith.
I really, really hope that the Ministry of Peace does not... This was not authorized by the Ministry of Image. Rarity does not approve.
Better.
Does it include Mentals? Party time Mentals. Let's find out.
Remove Stripe.
Remove Stripe. Actually, remove Cannibal.
Jeez, yeah. There was
which is actually war propaganda. So racist.
Hold on, do I need to be corrected?
We may have to take you into the Ministry of Peace.
It even looks like it's made out of zebras.
Ooh, that's kind of disgusting. And delicious.
I was going to say, it's not going to stop you from eating.
And if for a moment I can pull this up for you. By
the way, we're eating, 1, because we're hungry, but 2, this is a party! We're all hanging out together!
Yeah!
We need streamers. I need one of those like,
And the rotted, decaying balloons that were at the bottom of the crate.
Yeah, all greasy latex and awful.
Yeah, there's a,
Hey, we're like one of those Korean eating channels now. You know the ones I'm talking about where people just watch people eat?
Yeah. Except that's depressing. Yay for processed foods.
Aw, it doesn't taste anything like zebra.
There's no zebras I've had.
How many zebras have you had?
All of them.
Oh, I'll be good.
There you go.
Oh, God almighty.
Brasinio's image of Remove Cannibal, by the way, which is a picture of Little Pip doing the doing the like bliss man image like this. Because you got blood on her hooves and like a path of wanton destruction behind her. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, something we did forget to mention last time, and I wanted to mention it, and I almost forgot it this time as well, is that the co-creator or co-founder of Overmare Studios and the Wasteland Whalers, Yondi, I think it was his name, Yondi, passed away.
Yep.
In his sleep, apparently, which is rather sad.
I think that deserves a moment of silence.
Okay, so if you have not heard about this or you have not done already, I would go ahead and go over to the Overmare Studios and give them your. I would definitely talk to them and give them your words of peace on him.
Anything else come out since then?
There's a picture of Pip. No, the actual like the one where it's the meme. No, nothing else really.
What's your favorite quotable curse that little Pip have uttered?
I might have to go. There's a few, but I might have to go with the one that was on the Fallout Equestria resource. It was a resource or the wiki. It was a wiki page for the longest time, which was, or you can sit on my horn and spin.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
So snappy.
There's one where she uses Celestia.
Rate me with Celestia's four hopes.
That's what it was.
Yes. She has a lot of them for Celestia. By Celestia's flaring mare heat.
Oh, God. Talk about a lesbian-incestuous relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And twins! Oh, goodness.
Mm-hmm. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Hopefully it's not too loud.
Of course it is.
Luna stuffed my ass with moon rocks.
I think it's cunt with moon rocks. Flaring mare heat is my favorite.
All right. Well, we have reached the portion of the show where if you have any other questions, now's the time.
Yep. You mean not have that? No, I guess we will. With the moon. Luna stuffed my with the moon with moon rocks. That doesn't make any sense. What's wrong with you?
Doesn't make any sense at all. That's bad.
That's terrible.
And
How dare you?
You should feel bad.
I don't know. Do you have any questions regarding the chapter?
No.
Any clarification on
No.
anything?
Everybody kept hinting at it being super hardcore, so I kind of had already assumed that maybe cannibalism was going to be a part of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know,
well, last week you were talking about how it was going to be really great.
I was telling you, we're running out of...
yes, he did.
We're running out of taboos.
Mm-hmm.
Cannibalism, lesbian-incestuous relationships. What's that?
Don't forget the wholesale slaughter of a town of ponies.
Town of ponies, yep.
Good for the whole family.
I did think it was really dumb that little Pip was all worked up about killing the bandit.
Oh, so Robert, have you figured out what the Candlelit Ghoul is in Fallout lore? She was asking me this on the.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, too much sugar.
Not enough. More.
No, I don't know what the Candlelit Ghoul is in Fallout.
Which I had expected as much. I really had, because he hadn't talked very much about it, so. There you go. No ghosties for Robert.
Great.
However, you don't have an excuse on this. You could have an excuse for not knowing anything about the book, not knowing anything about the show. You don't have an excuse for not knowing that.
Are you talking... Well,
It's from the games.
No, I know, but it's from one of the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I only played like once. Isn't it Dead Money?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I played that once.
And now at least you know the truth behind that moment in Stable 2. Mm-hmm. Fuck me. Not literally, though. I'm not up for it today.
That's a shame.
I'll hold you against that later, though.
Oh.
I might have to call that in.
Oh, boy. All right. So, for those of you watching, of course, you can always find us here on our YouTube channel. I guess I'll have to download this somehow and post it for those of you listening at home. It'll be, of course, be on the follyofman.libsyn.com.
Pedophilia. Oh, that was actually an important thing I thought of that I realized not many No, I mean, none of the games. KCAT doesn't really go over it. I don't think any of the Fallout story goes over it. Not many post-apocalypse scenarios go over it because it's not really a great conversation to have. But
it's a taboo that makes everybody uncomfortable.
Yes, but it is something that's been known throughout human history, especially when it came to the Roman and the Greco-Roman period with catamite, which was man-boy loving. Right. And so, if you saw a massive breakdown in society, absolute destruction of society, and a rebirth based on absolutely nothing, no type of strong influence, just kind of like hints of influence, of course, you would actually see a rise in pedophilia. So all over the place.
You would think so, for sure.
Oh yeah, you would have older males hooking up with younger females and vice versa all over the place. It get kind of borderline pedo in the small scene in Flutter's cottage later in the story. Oh yeah, I think so. Did I remember right? I don't remember.
Later in the story, so I don't know.
I can't remember which scene that is, current or past. Yeah.
On the ghosts again, you can't kill them at all.
You can.
Really?
Yep.
I thought that was something about the code. Oh, never
No,
mind.
you could. You can't if you play Dust. They make them impossible in Dust. No, you must. You actually have to dismember them.
Gotcha. That's right.
And that's where that comes from. You either have to burn them through the lasers or dismember them.
Dismember them. Yeah.
So that's where the things come from. It's actually explained in the story. So,
anyways, you can, of course, if you are a Twitter user, you can find us at CriscoCast. What else? You can email us at cbpbch@gmail.com.
Everyone dies at the end. Yes, everyone dies. All people die eventually.
It's the one, except for Steelhooves.
Steelhooves, who will live forever.
Yeah.
And a small part of the story. Oh yeah, I mean, even then, I mean, what does he know from that statement? What does that mean?
I will say there was an interesting note about Steelhooves like springing back to life after being mortally wounded.
Necromantic
energy.
Yes.
That was Little Pip referred to as very unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Like here he was laying on the ground, supposedly dead, and he just kind of gets back up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just his.
Which is interesting. It's you could almost say, I don't know whether this is intentional, but you could almost say it's a reference to how the second time, but you could say it's a reference to the companions being essential characters in the Fallout,
right.
in the
so
Bethesda Fallout game.
Even when they go down, they come up.
Yeah, so they'll rise back up after a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So that
they never mentioned Steelhooves mending his armor.
No.
So it must just be full of holes.
Yeah.
Like visibly full of holes.
Which is pretty creepy if you think about it, because it's got to be like inside the hole's got to be filled with like scarred tissue and remnants and remains kind of like bulging and pulsing out.
Ectoplasm, yeah.
Yeah.
Just weird.
Gross.
Yeah, don't mind me. Just gonna go find some radiation to bask in.
Does armor regenerate along with the rest of him? I mean, you have to ask.
I was gonna say his flesh is fused to the suit.
It is mentioned as self-repairing, but it's not the fastest of processes. Okay. So it does actually heal itself after a while.
I'm trying to imagine what that would look like.
Think of it as kind of like this mold that continuously just grows.
Requires scrap metal to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, self-repair... But self-repair could mean anything in certain contexts. I mean, it just means that it comes back up to functionality.
Well, I think it's reached that time, you know? Yeah, thanks for joining us, kids. You know, 'tis the reason for the season, so...
We won't be having an episode next weekend, is what he's saying.
Because, you know, Christmas
familial
time,
obligations.
Christmas time is here.
Mm-hmm.
And your gift to us is that you were here to share it with us. And our gift to you is, you know, with Pony War. Great. Try telling that to your family over Christmas.
Everything's better with Pony War.
Yeah, this was fun. Please let us know in the comments and such what you thought of a live episode. Obviously, it misses some of the polish, but it's you know, it is what it is. Good to know. Good to know you didn't enjoy
The
it.
question becomes, did you enjoy any of the others?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But you're still here, and
Yeah.
you know your presence is the present. So whatever your holiday may be, we wish you a very happy holiday. You know. Fine. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers.
Marey.
Merry Christmas. That's cute. That's good. Join in the middle of it. Well, of course it'll be done. I mean, it'll be a complete video at the end.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything to add. So y'all don't have to go home, but
Can't stay here.
you can't stay here. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. And
I think there's a door involved.
just so y'all know, Chris and I will here in a little while. I mean, I don't know. It may be 10 minutes. It may be an hour. We'll be doing a Fallout. We're
continuing the Fallout.
The Fallout stream.
So if
and,
any of y'all are interested, you can follow that as well.
And as a teaser for those of you where we last left off,
Oh, thanks.
I found James, and you will pick up in Rivet City.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. For Chris, I'm Robert. This has been the Foally of Man Live, and we will see y'all in a couple weeks' time.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely be doing some holiday live streams too.
Oh yeah.
You married gentle colts.
Let's none of you dismay.